welcome back to Rory's Workshop. Thank you very much for swinging on by. Today I'm on a little bit of a road trip. I'm going from sunny Somerset, it's a beautiful day, and I'm going to Pontypridd, just north of Cardiff in South Wales. I think it's in the Rhondda. Anyway, I love that area. And I'm going to meet my good friend Andy. He has something for me. And he's been badgering me to get it for a number of years now. So I've finally given in. I've managed to track down the smallest trailer I've ever had. I've clagged onto the biggest car we have in the fleet, just because my wife is taking the Freelander out later. Otherwise I'd have brought that. But yeah, no, I'm booling on down towards the M5 now. Need to get a suck of fuel. I'll get some fuel in the Asda on the M5 there. Really good, really cheap as well. So, and this needs feeding from our Happy trip. So yeah, so I'll catch up with you in a little bit. It's going to take me about 90 minutes to get there. And I keep I keep having to check in the mirrors because the trailer's that small. I can't see it. I can only just to say feel it. I've already nearly pulled over twice because I thought it's fallen off. The perks of having small trailers. But hey, I couldn't take anything bigger because apparently it's quite tight down Andy's way. So yeah, so I'll catch up with you in a little bit. I'll probably film us going across the bridge. I haven't been across the bridge in ages. I can't actually remember the last time I was in Wales. But we'll film it and I'll catch up with you in a little bit. So I've made it to the Rhondda Valley, and what a beautiful place. Look around. I'm gonna come here more often, just so I can see Andy, of course. Why else? So I'm here, and there she is. Armstrong MT 500. Ex-military police bicycle. That's why it's white. What a thing. Absolutely fantastic. Needs a little bit of work, but what would you expect? It would be too boring to get something that works straight away. This has got the upgraded Delauto carburetor hiding underneath. Massive fuel tank. This has got a huge long range fuel tank and a couple of other nice bits and bobs. This I think is just going to be a pottering project. I'm going to be just messing about with it Sunday morning. Before that awful woman on Radio 2 comes on, and then I'll probably be messing about with this. It needs an exhaust. The exhaust is not running too well, but thankfully near to us we have a motorcycle down. The Somerset Motorcycle Dyno is just down the road, so once I get it, titivate it up and make sure it's running right. Obviously I don't have the license for this at the moment, but thankfully I know a couple of people who do. But I'll run it up and down the hill near us. Obviously off the road on private land. But yeah, I love it. What a thing. It'll go really nicely behind the 90. I might have to do something with the trailer. I might build another trailer with a bit better off-road capability, but What a thing. Turns over really well. And now I'm going to go and we'll chuck it onto the trailer. We're going to go and have some lunch because it's almost lunchtime. And I'll catch you in a little bit. So whilst the radio's playing crap music, I thought I'd come on and give you a bit of an update. As you can probably see, the bike is on the back and we're on our way home. We stopped and we went down to we nipped down to Porthcawl to have fish and chips by the sea, or by the estuary, which is very nice. I do recommend running down to Porthcawl if you're in the area. Sorry to Sue and Stuart, who's we parked the car outside their house. It was a little bit vaguely safe, and then we had a lovely walk along the seafront down to Porthcawl and back again. But yeah, as you see, bike's on the back. We're now booling along the M4 back towards the M5 and then finally heading south. I expect to get home around 8 o'clock tonight, so it's about an hour and a half. But yeah, all in all, fantastic day. Thank you very much to Andy and Lynn for putting up with me for a couple of hours, and obviously to Andy for sort of we worked out for the bike. So it was great, fantastic to catch up with friends who we haven't seen for a while, obviously with the lockdown being the way that it is, and social distancing. It was a little bit different to what we're normally used to. But thankfully everyone's okay, we're all nice and safe, and I've got some more goodies for the workshop, which is always greatly received. So I'm going to carry on now. I might film a bit when I get back and give you another look around the bike when we land back at home, but for now I'll catch up with you in a minute. Sorry I'm not in my usual t-shirt, I'm in an old one, but I haven't been in the workshop where I want to be today. I've been somewhere else. But good news, we've had some parts arrive, and I don't think I've shown this one on the YouTube channel just yet. This here is my, I'll just come back a bit, 1987 Armstrong MT 500. Nice big single cylinder 500cc cylinder Rotax. I managed to get it off my good friend Andy, and it's a hell of a machine. But the exhaust that came with it was holier than a month of Sundays. So I've been waiting. I thought about getting a new stainless steel one, but being a car guy through and through, and then looking at the prices of motorcycle parts, ooh, oh goodness, they're quite expensive. So a full stainless steel exhaust system for this bike. Bear in mind it's two headers which come out of here, go round, it comes through here, and then has a silencer at the back. It's £900. Quite happy to spend money on vehicles, you know. I mean, heaven knows I've got enough. But Jesus. So to that end, some parts that were with it were actually rotten, so I managed to buy some used ones. So I've got two used headers, but in really good condition. A new centre pipe, and the guard apparently was seized on, but quick tap with the old mole grips and the Allen bolts came off. Now I'll put the Allen bolts back in because I was going to get this and the two headers shot blasted, so I can repaint them. But I'm impatient, and probably by the time you see this video, I won't be at home. So I just wanted to get this on so I know it's running, and then then I know it's ready for when I come back home. I can then jump on it, take it for its MOT, do my bike license, I say bicycle license there, bike license, and go from there. So to that end, let's start at least trying to get it right. So today I'm not actually in the workshop, as you can see. I'm in one of the sheds because the workshop's full of tractors. But what I'm going to be doing, I've got two jobs on really today: fitting the exhaust and also sorting out the fuel tank. So that I have the extended range fuel tank on here, which is quite a rare thing apparently. And it's got two fuel taps, one this side and one the other, and obviously I need both of them to go together, to meet together before it goes into the carburetor. So I've got a new brass fitting, so I'm going to throw that in, and then hopefully I'll be able to I could just put one piece in and just have one side, but I think I'd rather have it right, do it once, do it well, and then we'll go from there. You may hear noises in the background. There's next door's having a shed built, bigger than this one, so you may hear the rattle gun or something like that going off, but don't worry too much. I'll try and avoid it as much as I can, but it is happening, so, and I'm certainly not going to stop them by any shakes of a stick. I'm not that important. So yeah, so now I'm gonna throw on the exhaust first, and then then I'll get that routed, and then I can route the fuel pipe to avoid it, rather than getting caught out the other way around. But I'm going to change the battery on the GoPro because it's about to die, and then I'll be back with you in a minute. So I've cleaned up the threads on here, and you can see where it mounts down, all the way down into here. There's a copper crush washer that goes in, and then you got the exhaust pipe, and then a clamp that goes on top. Most of it, the exhaust clamp and the pipe are obviously used, as I said before, but the fitting kit is all stainless steel. I bought it off a guy called Bojangles on eBay. Fantastic service. Give me full exhaust fitting kit, all in stainless steel, with the correct copper bits, and it was delivered really quickly. So thanks very much to him. I'll put a link down below of his eBay shop. He does quite a lot of stainless steel stuff, and particularly I think he does everything for the MT500. So if you do have an MT500 or you're into them, he's a very good place to go to, and I do recommend him. I think I'm going to get, there is like a knurled knob that goes underneath the seat to take the seat off. I think I'm going to get one of them as well, because it'd be quite handy to get into the loom. I'm not too sure what the loom condition's like on this. I say I've not had it running. I've had it cough, but I've not had it running, and it's best. These don't run very well apparently without the exhaust on them, so we'll try and get it on, because I really want to get it fired up. Let's get it done. Sorry for the roll cage that's in your view. It's the only decent place I can get on the back of the overland to get a decent shot as I'm on my own. You can hear the machinery in the background. I'm sorry about that. There's nothing I can do, and yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? So what I've done on the other side, is I've put some copper grease on the forward edge of the exhaust manifold here, and then I've put the sort of copper crush gasket and stuck it on. So it gives me time to get this in the right position, and time to get the flange attached. And then obviously I've been using copper grease. I've copper greased the stainless steel spacers that are on there, as well as the nuts, so in the future I can take them off hopefully fairly easily, but until then we don't know. The other side is on, the top one's tight-ish, holding it all in together. I can't get to the bottom ones with that spanner. I have got a spanner here for a sec, I'll go and grab one in a second, but I wanted to get it all vaguely somewhere near, and then we'll go from there. Not too sure if it goes through this, I reckon. Yeah, that'll be fine. So yeah, so what I'll do now is I'll add some copper grease. I like copper grease. I use it on all sorts. I'm not particularly shy with it, or the copper grease. As I say, it is just to hold this off, and it'll get burnt off, and that's fine. It's not a problem. Wipe it on my shorts because they're really good for your washing machine. My wife will really enjoy that when she sees this. Right, so that's now stuck on. Thank goodness it didn't fall off. And now it's stuck on. You can use grease as well if you want. That will burn off just the same. But I have copper grease here, so I'll be using that. There we go. So I'm making sure that sealing ring is in the right position. Chasing it up with the flange. We all like a good flange, don't we? So now with the downpipes on, the manifold pipes, I'm now going to use some exhaust assembly paste on obviously these edges here, and then insert the centre pipe. These the wrong way around. Bear with me, this is my first time. And then put some assembly lube on the insides of here. I've got 2 brand new stainless steel clips which I'll throw on, and then hopefully job will be a fish. Let's do it. So I'm around the back of the bike. There's the back of the centre box, and it mounts up into that nut there. Let's put some light. And it mounts up onto this nut here and through this bolt here. So I'm going to fight on with that. Obviously I'm going to put some assembly lube on this just here, and then I'm just going to tighten up. I'll put it on this one bolt, it'll be okay, and then hopefully we'll fire it up and see what it sounds like after we've done the fuel. Let's keep going. So now the exhaust is on. I managed to get it all on. It's held on but just by this top one up here. There's one on the rear, but it doesn't seem to be fitting quite well, so we'll need to look at that in the future. But the clamp is on, as you can see the gunk there. I've tightened up the flanges on the engine. They're all nipped up nice, and I've nipped these up as well, I didn't nip them up beforehand so they can maneuver around and find their own happy place, but they're not too tight. Now I'm going to move over to the fueling side of things, and what I think I'm going to do is, because I've got 2 taps, I've got one here and one on the opposite side, and the inlet is here for the carburetor, sorry. So I'm going to put one pipe coming through. I'm going to probably put it through this gap, and then have a short piece, have the T-piece, and then the T-piece going down into it. Obviously I've got all the clamps and everything, but I sort of want it to be right and I want it to be out the way, so we'll have a look at that and see how we get on. Watch this. So now I've put the clamp on, I've made sure it's clearing the valve nicely, and then it's just slotting through to the other side. I'll show you. And here it is. I flicked it up because I made sure that when it clears, obviously I did action it through. So now I think I'm going to put a so now I think I'm going to put a short piece in, and then for it to match up to this T-piece, probably about here. I'll try and make it fairly short so the brass is keeping it off these off these Jubilee clips, and then obviously you then get one pipe going in. Let's try and do a time lapse, shall we? Yeah. So now you can see behind me, I certainly hear it, it's alive. It's taken me a long time to get it running. I've had it coughing and spluttering, and I've messed about with the carb a bit, but trying to find information on these carbs, because this has the Deloto in it, it's quite difficult. I'm leaving it running because I'm sure it would start, but I'm not confident. And I am hanging out from kicking this thing over. Tried bump starting it last night, and it's just no. What I'm going to put it away, but I just wanted to show you it does run. Run quite well. Can't get full throttle, but to be honest, it's perfect for my sort of ability. It'll come just off tick over, and it's just got that initial kick, which is quite nice. I've brought it around our field a little bit, and confident with the gears and everything. It's just getting back into the routine of using the foot brake before the front brake, but we'll see. Yeah, I'll put it away and I'll catch up with you in a sec. So now with the bike back in, right at the very back of the workshop, I'll tell you what I was up to. Rip off this cover. That's what I like about this bike. It's really easy to get into stuff. So it obviously wasn't starting. It seemed like I wasn't getting enough fuel, so unfortunately I didn't film it, because it was one of those, I'll be back in a minute, darling, and shock, lo and behold, 2 hours later, I came back down. So I took out the seat off, airbox off, CDI. The CDI is on top of here. If you don't know, it's like a ignition module. To take the carb out, I'm not a motorbike guy at all. This is my first proper motorbike, and I've never played with these. It's something totally. Well, it's a little bit different. Just little things that are different. So because I wanted to. The petrol that was in the tank had gone stale and it stank, absolutely stank. And there's quite a bit in, so I needed to drain that out. And then I sort of thought that the carburetor, like all the jets and everything, could be gummed up. So I thought, well, easiest way, because I didn't know how to get the bowl off, I thought, well, actually, the easiest way would be to take the carb right out, have a good look at it, and go from there. So that's what I did. I'll put some photos up as I'm speaking now, because I sort of took off the airbox, took all this out, managed to get, oh, it's tight in here, goodness gracious me, managed to get the carburetor sort of loose under the choke cable and the throttle, and obviously then that pulls out the piston, quite similar to sort of an SU. So I had the carb body out, 21mm bolt on the bottom to take off the bowl, and then obviously the bowl, as you can see, is full of green schmoo. And then obviously went through all of the jets, took off all the jets, blown them all out with carb cleaner, made sure they're all nice and clean, everything was operating as it should, the float valve and everything like that. And then a quick reassembly, and then I managed to throw it all back together, try to kick it over a couple of times, and then try to bump start it. Thankfully, where my little shed is, it's on top of a hill, we've got a bit of tarmac, which is great. So I managed to sort of roll it down and try and bump start it, because kicking these over is a pain in the backside. And obviously not knowing how the throttle's set, how the choke is set. Obviously the previous owner, Andy, he did sort of say, give it sort of full choke, 2 pumps of the throttle, and then shut the throttle off, make sure it is shut, and then it should fire up. But it wouldn't happen. And then I was getting tired using both legs. I'm not a bike guy, so I'm able to sort of, I've never gotten used to kicking bikes, so I can use both legs. I can do it on the bike and off, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I can't see it being a good thing because I've got 2 legs and it sort of gives me nearly double the effort. But as you can see, I am sweating profusely, and the lump on my head is where I forgot about these things, because it's not a wheel, it's a bar, and I knelt down and took this on square, which I sat down for a moment. But anyway, left it. The battery was flat, so I rolled it down to the carport where the good charger was, put it on charge, left it overnight, and then this morning, it wasn't this morning, it was lunchtime, I managed to jump on it, find out which position the key is in for like lights and what have you, and then jumped on it, kicked it, and then it fired into life. And I left it to tick over. I said I didn't want it any more, because obviously I want the exhaust to make sure that the exhaust seals, and there's a lot of smoke to be generated because of all the copper grease that I've put on and that exhaust paste that I fitted the other day. So I had to do that, and then tonight try to kick it again in the exact same position. So 2 pumps, full choke, kick it, doesn't feel good. Played with the fuel mixer on the side of the carb, and trying to find information on how to set up these carbs on this bike. And this is a popular upgrade, but there's no how to. So in the future, I'll try and work out how to do it, and I'll try and make a video of how to sort of throw one of these on and how to tune it. But then I am going to get this, because I'm not a bike guy. There is a dyno, there is Somerset dyno not too far from me, so I'm going to send it to them in the future for them to sort of play with it and make sure we get it running right, because I think this is way beyond my remit. I'm happy to do it, I'm happy to tinker with it, but I think for me to get it running right, and obviously that's what you want on a motorbike, I'm going to send it to them and sort of do everything that they say. So it has been running, I've ridden it up and down here, and as I said earlier, I took it over the fields, which is quite nice. Get it into third, I can't get full throttle. I can get about 8 throttle, maybe quarter throttle at best, and then after that it just balks on its face. So I think it's lack of fuel, but I don't know. I'm going to leave it as is for now. I'm quite happy with the way it is, and I'll catch up with it a bit later on, because I'm very tired now. and yeah, I think that's about it really. So I'll finish this video here because it's I'm gonna sit down because I'm very tired, very hot and sweaty. So yeah, so I'll end this video here. There will be updates on the Armstrong in the future. Some exciting things are going to happen over the next couple of weeks. Whether I tell you on social media, I don't know yet. But it's only going to get a little bit sandy. That's all I'm going to say for now. But thanks very much for watching. I do hope you enjoy this sort of stuff. The motorbike stuff is coming along. And obviously there's the Fergie's here, the Avalon's here. We've got plenty of stuff to be getting on with. But there is, as I said, some adventures to be had in the near future. Thanks very much for watching. Stay safe out there. Take care. Bye now.